All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. All right, guys, pretty ugly day over here on the indices. Maybe you were caught off guard, but hopefully not. Why? Because we have been talking about this for quite some time. All right, you should not have been caught off guard by today's sell. On top of that, coming into the 15-minute time frame here, guys, you had a big old bearish divergence coming here right into the open. All right, anytime you see that, just expect the thing to sell. Expect these new highs to be sold. That is how it works, okay? Just like you come over here to VIX, all right? 4-hour RSI, we had the bullish divergence as of last Friday, all right? And then when we came down and made a new low today, okay, guess what? It created a triple bullish divergence. We're right here at the bottom of this falling wedge pattern, okay? You can see these arrows. This is how I'm thinking it's going to play out, okay? Next stop, 1628. Above there, guys, we're going to be above the daily 21. We might just spike up to 1785. From there, you're going to expect this to be sold from right here, okay? And then if it does end up breaking above 1950, we have ourselves a larger VIX spikes on the larger VIX spike on the weekly time frame. We're going to be above that 21 EMA, which we've been rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay, at some point, price is going to get back above that, and this might be the time that's going to happen. We do have FOMC tomorrow, guys. We have the rate decision at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we have Powell's comments and commentary at 2:30. Okay, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, bullish engulfing candlestick on VIX, bearish engulfing candlestick on SPY and QQ, guys. It's very simple here. Expect more downside tomorrow. If we see a gap up, expect it to be sold. Until proven otherwise, expect it to be sold. You had increasing volume on the two. You printed a bearish engulfing candlestick. VIX is looking like it can rumble. Everything looks like it's it's looking like we continue a bit further down tomorrow. Even if it's just going to create, you know, you're going to gap up, take out today's low. Even if it just creates a lower wick and we come right back up and print, you know, a hammer candlestick, something similar to this, you're still looking for that further downside with what we got today, okay? It could go something just like that. That was the last bearish engulfing candlestick that SPY printed over here. What happened? You had a gap up the next day. You faded underneath the low. And boom, you came down to your next support. And you got bought up by the end of the day. All right, so we're going to be watching for something similar. But that's going on right over here. Okay? Right here. Where you get this little bounce, okay, overnight. And you took out these lows, okay? And then you ended up getting a little bit of a sell there. But what it do? It did end up just having that 15-minute bullish divergence going on there. And you got bought right back up. All right? Now, I'm not going to tell you whether tomorrow's going to be a small sell or not. I'm not sure if it's going to have a crazy intraday reversal like that or not. I really have absolutely no idea, just like you don't. But I have been getting you ready for that VIX spike, and it's just now happening, guys. Guess what? We're not even 1% off the highs, and people are going nuts. It's going to drive everybody freaking nuts. Okay? You think you've been seeing a lack of follow-through and failed breakout moves these past 1 to 2 weeks? I'm telling you, the market actually wants to correct here, which can take a few weeks. Guess what? You're going to have a whole lot more of it. People are going to go nuts. Okay? But you're not going to go nuts. Okay? You're going to do what you got to do. All right, let's go over some levels, guys, into tomorrow. On the upside, guys, we really are just going to be looking for a move. Oh, hang on one sec. We are going to be looking for a move above 569.04. At that point, we're probably pushing right back up the highs, 572.11. All right? But as long as that's not the case, we are going to expect that bounce to be sold, okay? So if we gap up over here, okay, even if we slightly get above 569.04, if you do end up fading down to these lows, take out today's low, expect this thing to get some downside, okay? Real talk. QQQ underneath 566.06, I think we have risk of coming all the way down to 560.80. Am I saying that happens all tomorrow? No. No, I am not. You know, that is a decent move over there. There's over a 1% move, and guess what? Fine, QQ, they haven't wanted to move over 1% in a day in quite some time. Quite some time. Except for over here. But it created your intraday reversal there. So maybe that's going to be the case. We don't know. Okay, but if it's going to be like something like that, there was a 1.5% intraday range. That means people, they're going to go freaking nuts tomorrow if this actually happens. It's like 558.61 happening. But real talk, guys, bearish engulfing candlestick, increasing volume, expect to sell. Lower levels are 566.06, 564.35, 563.29, 562.31, 560.80. Underneath there, 557.20. On the upside, just watch for the break above 569.04. If we can get that, we probably are going to start marching back up the highs. Okay. Like I said, guys, we had to hold some key spots here on SPY and QQQ. All right. They freaking held you right where you had to hold. You know, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I took off the level, but it was right here. All right. They held you exactly where you had to hold today. They brought you right down to the 4-hour 21 EMA. You swept that low. And guess what? You ended up holding it. Okay. You found buyers. And now we are at the perfect point right here. Perfect point in these charts. SPY and QQQ to go either direction tomorrow. Okay. You break underneath 566.06 here, get bearish. You break above 569.04, get bullish. It is as simple as that. Okay. But, you know, I'm also going to say FOMC is tomorrow. We don't know really what's going to be happening. So even if this thing does get back above 569.04 early on the day, don't trust it. Okay, I think if that happens early on the day before we see that, you know, continuation lower, I think it's probably going to be a false move. I think we probably have a little false breakout on our hands above 569.04, and we're probably going to get sucked back down into the abyss to take out the low. Regardless, guys, I'm looking for further downside tomorrow. That's the theme of today's video. All right, I'm going to give you guys some trade ideas at the end of the video. I got some hot ones for you guys that I think are going to be moving without the market. All of them. All right, they all can move without the market in today's video. All right, and that's at the end of the video. Stay tuned. On the downside over here for SPY, and like I said, they held you right where they held you. All right, right where they had to. Right where we mentioned yesterday. All right, they held you. Okay, and now, guess what? Underneath 634.84. We're talking 633.99. Underneath 633.99, we're just going to say 634. Underneath 634, you have nothing until 631.54. And that's where I think we have risk of coming down to. Now, if we do not hold 631.54, guys, oh, we have a larger sell in our hands. But again, all right, we just had a pump. Okay. We have not seen a dump. We are still less than 1% off of the highs right now. Even if we came all the way down 632.5, still not 1% off the highs yet. All right. So, you know, just understand it's really not all that scary. It may seem scary, but please just realize if you are, you know, terrified by this action, you are over leveraged for yourself. It's not a position worth having. All right. You are over leveraged. You should never be in that position. This is a normal correction here in the market that we 100% have called for. We've just been waiting patiently for it to start up over the past few sessions. And today we started that bad boy up with VIX getting its little spike going. Okay. Downside SPY 634, 631.54, 629.73, 627.86, 626.28. Okay, on the upside, all right, you have 636.15. Now I'm just going to say 637.58, guys. I wouldn't even be touching upside over here until you can get above 636.58. And then you're playing for 638.67, 640, 642, 645. But real talk, yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't. You guys see what VIX is doing. You guys see what we printed today. So if we do end up bouncing to start the day tomorrow, it's probably going to be sold. All right, down to new lows, which makes me think we're probably not going to be getting all that big of a gap up over here. You know, if the thing does end up gapping up 637 and we just start immediately pushing back to the highs, yeah, it's going to keep going. All right, there's nothing to do about it. It's going to keep going. But that's not likely what's going to be happening. Okay. Again, over here on VIX, guys, started the VIX spike. You got the bullish engulfing candlestick here. All right. 4-hour RSI, you had that triple bullish divergence. It's now started playing out. You have to get above 1628 for that next move to take place. Above 1628, probably coming up here, 1785. Okay, and then above there, you have 1880 and then 1950. 1950 is when this really could get going here. But at that point, it's a 20% move. All right, I doubt it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's possible. And if it happens, we're not going to be closing good tomorrow. Okay, if VIX is going to get up here and have a bullish close tomorrow, all right, we are having that larger correction on SPY and QQQ. All right, and it is honestly on the table that we come down to previous all-time highs, which on, you know, SPY here, it's 613.23. I think at a minimum, I'm really expecting the 21 EMA. You know, that is still very well. All of it would be within correction territory, but we're still just holding the daily trend at that point. And yeah, it very easily can get bought up after that, you know. But I have been talking about it. I have been saying, hey, I think it could be a multi-week pullback once it comes. We've been seeing a crap ton of SPY and IWM puts loaded. Honestly, across the board, we've been getting puts loaded. But IWM specifically, and if you come over here to the IWM chart, it really is not screaming bearishness. It's not. All right. This is consolidating above the 21 EMA for like 3 weeks. Okay. 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks now. You haven't gone anywhere. People have been loading the living crap out of August and September puts throughout this whole area. They haven't been making money. All right. Every single freaking day, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of puts are coming into these guys over here above the ask. Okay. Real talk. This thing's probably going to be breaking down. We have a catalyst to do so tomorrow. So get ready. It might be happening. We have a pretty narrow bodied weekly candlestick so far. Expect the expansion to start tomorrow. On the downside, take out 220.254. We're talking 220.66. I need 220.66. Expect 218.41. And more specifically, 215.93. I'll draw an arrow for you guys just to make it real simple here. Underneath 220.66, we're probably taking a dive down to 215.93. I know, pretty nuts. But that is also just around this weekly 21 EMA. We're just reverting back to the mean. And that's probably going to be bought. Until proven otherwise, we will expect that to be bought. Come over here to DIA. It's looking a bit hairy. But at the end of the day, it is still just consolidating right underneath previous all-time highs. Like, you can't get too bearish on this market, but, you know, we're not going to sit here with our heads in the sand and not acknowledge what we've been seeing. That's why we were pointing out that VIX is probably going to start spiking over the coming sessions. And then what happens? It starts spiking today, all right? Which means it's probably going to have a few more sessions of upside. You know, if tomorrow, if we decide, just go like this, okay? We go like this, we print a candlestick just like that. It's going to be further up there, something like this, okay? We still have risk of downside, okay? We have not seen a correction in quite some time. We are seeing every single new high get sold. We are barely making new highs at this point. Every single day you make a new high, you end up seeing sellers step in. When are the freaking trending days going to start popping up again? When are we going to get this action? We're not. Okay, we're not until we get a freaking correction. Okay? Don't go crazy on the correction. We want the correction. That is how it is. People are going nuts. I understand. You don't have to do that. You don't. Okay? You want help? You want to come trade with me? That link is going to be down below. I'll give you daily trading insights, and I will walk you through price action, okay? You don't have to be on the edge of your seat all the time. You really don't. Okay? You know, I'm telling you, probably going to be seeing further downside tomorrow, okay? Let's get into the Mag 7 stocks. We have Google. This is the strongest one. All the other ones look like shit. Pardon my French. But Google over here looks like gold. A golden piece of shit, okay? And it's probably going to continue up. Above 195.28. We have nothing until 198.16, then 202.88. Above 202.88, we have 208.70. I think GOOG is on a one-way track for all-time highs. I think it is coming, okay? But, oh, Oracle. Speak of the devil. Posted a Twitter chart on Oracle. It wants to start pushing back up. Yeah, it really didn't move all that much. But I'll tell you right now, we'll sneak peek on what we got end of the video. Things probably going to be moving up. Whether it consolidates here, I think it is more likely than not going to consolidate here for a few sessions and then push up. We might, you know, have some action like that and then push up, or some action like that where we pull back. This is the consolidation for a few sessions I speak of. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but I do think we are going to be pushing 260 over here on Oracle, okay? But back to the Mag 7 stocks, guys. Google, this is the strong one to focus on. The downside, you have 195.28, 192.61. Take out 192.61 tomorrow. You have a larger sell down to 187.36, okay? Actually, Also right here, 185.41. I think that would likely be tested over here if we fail this move. NVIDIA, a bit top heavy today. Okay. On the downside, we have the previous high at 174.25 underneath there. All right, let's just come down here. 4-hour time frame. 4-hour 21 EMA. Underneath there, we're looking for a larger sell to take place. Okay, I'm not going to tell you how large that sell is, but I'm telling you, you break 174.25, we're probably going to be coming all the way back down here, 171.26. Maybe, just maybe 167.89, and we have a larger breakdown from there. Not sure, but it's definitely looking a bit top heavy here. You know, 4-hour chart doesn't necessarily look all that bad, but with how the rest of the market is moving, I imagine NVIDIA is probably going to give up 174.25 tomorrow and have a larger sell. You know, the market is this clown market we're dealing with right now, but it is the name of the game. Okay, it comes with the territory. You got to get used to it. Okay, the market is going to do crazy irrational things. The market wants to keep making slight new highs, 0.2, 0.3%, and pulling all the way back into the previous day's range. You want to keep doing that? Fine. Okay, but let's not put our heads in the sand and let's just acknowledge what it is. You have clear as day, new supply just continuously forming. This is distribution, what's going on here, okay? VIX looks like it's ready to rumble. New highs keep getting sold. All right, at some point, you will get capitulation. You will get the actual correction where the dip is not going to be bought. All right, well, at least for a few weeks, okay? I don't know if that's going to start up tomorrow. You guys are ready for it if it does. You guys are ready for the VIX spike before it happened today, but I'll tell you, you will now be more than ready if it happens tomorrow. You know what to do. All right, you know the game plan. Over here on Tesla, guys, it's still just consolidating over here. I really would just wait for a break above 335.50. That's all I'm going to say on Tesla. Microsoft starting to break down. Okay, failed to make new highs today. Underneath 510.17, we have 506.78. We have earnings right after the close tomorrow here on Microsoft. And then we come over here to Meta. We have earnings on Meta tomorrow. Ugly day today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I still think, more probable than not, new highs incoming. Okay, I could be completely wrong. I could, considering what happened today. But I'll tell you right now, why did we push up to the high over here if we're just going to completely fall off a cliff here? We're probably not going to fall off the cliff there. All right. So we are very likely going to be making our way back up here. And if this does end up bringing out a dip in earnings here, it's probably just going to be around 650. It's probably something that gets bought up over the coming weeks. All right. And that's Meta. That's all I'm really going to say there, because there's nothing, and nobody really should be trading this thing short term tomorrow before earnings. Let's be completely real about it. You're probably going to have a bad time. Premiums are pumped right now. And yeah. They're going to do some crazy things before earnings. You guys see what's going on right here, okay? Moving on to the next one. Apple, guys. Apple doesn't have earnings tomorrow after the close, but it does have earnings Thursday after the bell. You're right on your daily 21 EMA. I don't care about the short-term price action that's going on right now. Only thing that matters is the weekly chart. Weekly cloud started to flip back up. You've been consolidating. You look like you want to break up. I'm guessing you're about to break up off earnings. We'll see what happens. Maybe it tanks, but I'm just going to tell you, it's probably not going to be doing so. It's probably not. It probably is finally going to move up, and it's going to break out of this consolidation here. If it does break down, oh, baby, we are coming back down to these lows. Okay, if this thing earnings brings it down here, and you open down here, yeah, don't expect that thing to be bought. Like, maybe in the short term, but let's be real about it. That is such a sign of weakness. It's ridiculous. You're coming back down here. Don't have your head in the sand. Okay? That's what the chart's going to be telling you if that happens. But until that happens, okay, we are likely going to see this just break up and do what the technical suggests they're going to do, which is move up. Above 216.23, 219.71. We're not going to go over anything else because, again, none of it matters if we have earnings. It's just going to make this massive move over the next two sessions. Okay, none of it matters. All of it goes out the window. Amazon, almost up to all-time highs. I won't be surprised if this does push up to new all-time highs. If it creates a dip off of earnings, it's probably going to be bought within a few weeks. Okay? So we're going to wait and see how things go, because we have no idea how they're going to be going. You think I got a crystal ball? Yeah, I do. It's in my back pocket. I'm kidding. But, you know, people really, you know, they expect the most. But I'm telling you right now, the market is just something you have to go along with. And this is part of the territory. This is literally a minor correction that's happening right now, and people are already going nuts over it. I'm telling you right now, on individual tickers, I'm seeing a crap ton of false breakout moves over the past 2 weeks. It's just guaranteed that's what we have. We have a lack of follow through. Okay, as well as on these Mag 7 stocks. What the heck is this? It's been going on over here on Amazon. I know it started climbing up over here, but it's that same concept where every single time we make a new high one day, boom, you pull back. All right, when are these actual trending moves, these strong, powerful moves going to come back in? Probably after earnings season, after the correction actually happens. All right, if we just march back up the highs, guys, I don't trust them. I don't. And I'm actually going to become a bear. I know you guys like to think I'm a perma-bull, but I will become a bear. Okay? I told you guys about the sell before it happens. People think I'm a perma-bull. I'm not. I watch the charts. But if we turn back up, I'm going to become a freaking perma-bear. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm going to go with the flow like I'm talking about right now. I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to do whatever the charts are telling me to do. All right? But, yeah, if that happens, like I'm telling you, I will be so uncomfortable just longing into new highs because I see what's been going on. And it's been an absolute crapshoot. All right. Every single new high gets sold. We are seeing such slow moves. I want volatility to be great again. Make fucking volatility great again. Pardon my French. All right. So we went over the Mag 7 stocks. Let's go over some trades. All right. Well, trade ideas. You guys can take your own trades off them if you want. MCD, I gave it to you yesterday. All right. That we did. Above 299.91. It was like going to be pushing 301.86, and then you have 302.79. Well, now, guys, you got a little flat top setup going on over here, and it looks like you're about to break out above 302.79 tomorrow morning, probably push straight to 305.12. Even if it is going to produce one of these famous McDonald's upper wicks, okay, it's still likely going to get up to 305.12 tomorrow morning. If you're quick enough, you can catch it. Regardless, I hope some of you guys made money on this guy today. It is starting to push up, and I do think a larger reversal is at play here. You have earnings right around the corner. Earnings are typically a nothing burger. All right, so I'm going to trade it after earnings there. And those are next week. But as far as this week's price action, above 302.79, likely moving up to 305.12. That is a idea for you tomorrow morning. GS, Goldman Sachs, guys. Increasing volume on the day, but that's not really what that's not what we're talking about here, okay? This thing looks immaculate. All right? This thing pulled back and consolidated here after getting this big move. Consolidated for about a month. And now it's pushing up. It's looking immaculate. It wants to just keep pushing. That is what we got going on over here. This is an explosive looking chart over here. And I do think we are probably going to be seeing 750 over the next 1 to 2 weeks. This weekly candle, it can move up. We also could start doing this crap like we did over here. Let's just mark it out. All right, you started breaking up. And then guess what? Boom, you pulled back into it. And then you started going. So either way, keep it on your radar. It's something that's probably going to continue trending now that it is breaking out to new highs. And you could be playing those pullbacks when they come. Pep. All right. PepsiCo. Perking up today quite nicely right off of 141.51. This is that key level right over there. Okay. Picture perfect. Pulled back. Reverted to the mean. Daily 21 EMA style. You've been consolidating here since the 17th. All right, that is about half a month. That is 2 weeks we've been sitting right here. Look at the weekly chart. It's coming together, baby. This thing wants to start making a reversal, guys. I'm telling you, and I think it's starting right about now. Right about now. All right, watch for the trend line break, but real talk, over 147.03. You're going to 150 real quick, and then you have nothing until you get all the way up here. You know what? All the way up here. 155. Okay, so above 147.03, we're talking 150 and then 155. That's PEP. VST, guys, the thing is probably going to be doing some monster things. I think it's probably going to be continuing up from this consolidation. It's looking like a monster here on the weekly time frame. And yeah, it's probably going to be breaking up. It's not like you pull back over here and then you're consolidating. You know, that's a bear flag. This thing pushed straight up to highs. It's been consolidating this tight range now for 4 to 5 weeks. Have not moved. You're continuously finding buyers. And I'm just going to point back to previous highs. Let's come back to the weekly chart. Notice how you don't stall out at these highs. You don't. You continue. You trend. Well, this thing is literally consolidating here, getting ready for a big move. And if we see in the past that it just likes to trend once it comes and pushes up to new highs, all right, you know, over here you did end up breaking down. So I will point that out. But that was a little after inception there. We've had quite a few things happen. All right, price is 200. That was at 25 bucks. But yeah, it's probably going to be breaking up to these highs. Expect it. All right, above 199.84. Can push up to 207.12. Above there, 210, 215, 220. I think 220, 230 is coming in the short term. You have earnings coming in hot next week. Might be making a move off of earnings. Notice how all of these are red. Okay. Notice how, hang on. Bear with me. Nothing burger. Okay. The stock just kept doing what it wants to do. That's what I'm telling you guys. Okay. You did end up getting the gap up over here, but in reality, the stock was set up in a bullish manner, and the chart just did what the chart wanted to do. It just had a catalyst to do it. And I think we have a catalyst to do it over here. Let's see what happens. All right, I'm not telling anybody along, you know, into those earnings. But I am telling you, they're probably going to be a nothing burger, so I don't think it really matters. You're just paying extra premium right now if you're getting in before. But I do think this bullish move is probably going to continue after earnings. So something to keep on your radar there. Regardless, this bullish consolidation until proven otherwise could be about to start moving up. HIMS, real clean action today. All right, weekly time frame. You got earnings next Monday. Right? Next Monday after the bell. All right, on the weekly chart, we had a nice solid 20% week last week. All right, right over here. It was 26%, top to bottom to top over there. A lot of time with these trending weeks, by that I mean pretty much every single time you get a trending week, you do end up pushing higher next week. You did not over here, okay? But that was just the start. Anytime you start up one of these trending moves, you typically will have 1 to 2 more weeks of upside. I think that is probably going to be the case. I think this thing on the 4-hour chart, I don't like how it has this triple bearish divergence going on here as it made these new highs today. But I will tell you, it just broke out from this consolidation, pulled back 4-hour 21 EMA, just like over here. It broke up from that consolidation. And yeah, now there's nothing until 65 plus. So I do think we're likely going to see this weekly candle expand. I do think the 4-hour chart shows that consolidation that just started breaking up. And tomorrow could be a good day. Increasing volume on the day above 60.96. There really is nothing until 64.60. That is HIMS. Walmart. All right. Wally. Operation Wally is underway. You've been consolidating, getting ready for this move for so long now. Maybe it does end up making it off of earnings. I don't think so, but maybe it does. Regardless, it's pushing back up. We've gotten rejected. We tested this area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right where we are right now, in between this level and up here. We have rejected. That's 10 times. Okay? It's strong supply sitting there. We need to break above 99.5 for this thing to get going. Okay? Expect a rejection until proven otherwise here. But I'm pretty sure it's about to get going. See over here on the monthly time frame? I told you guys last month, it made sense not to take out that low. We didn't take out the low. What do we have? We have 3 months of consolidation. This thing is about to bust up with a big boy move. All right? And I'm here for it. Above 99.5, guys. We're talking 101, 102.5, and 105.30, and then we're talking 110 to 115. I think, yeah, we might start that move before earnings and continue it through earnings. Or maybe it just doesn't want to go until earnings. And then, you know, you have the whole thing go all in one go with earnings back up to new all-time highs. I think that's unlikely. I think we're probably going to go before then. But Walmart, I like it. Oracle, as I exposed it earlier on in the video, it's looking nice. All right. You push back up to these highs. Notice you had this nice upper wick today. There's a nice upper wick over there. What happened? You pulled back for a few sessions. You actually had a larger pullback, previous high, and then you ended up going. Regardless, consolidation. That's all I want you to focus on here, okay? You printed upper wick, consolidated. All right? What happens over here? Print upper wick, consolidate. Print upper wick, consolidate. Upper wick, consolidate. You know, it is just the theme over here since we started breaking out the new all-time highs that you print these wicks, all right? You're coming lower the next day or consolidating for a few sessions before making that actual move. Now, that being said, this 4-hour chart looks pretty sick, and I think it might get going tomorrow. Above 25160, I think 260 is coming. I would say it's safe to expect that move by early next week. If it does not happen this week, next week. All right, but something to keep on your radar. Above 250, 160, 260 plus incoming. Last one I'm going to point out here is TOST. T-O-S-T. Toast Incorporated. All right. Pull back. Printing a hammer candlestick on the day. Probably going to continue getting bought up here. Through 49.56, we're talking 50 and then 51, 52. That is toast. And that is what I have for you guys today. I still think chips are set up to continue here in the short term. You know, some of these just, they stand out to me. ARM has earnings tomorrow after the close, so I don't really know what's going to happen off those. But, you know, technicals are just going to prevail here. Yeah, this thing's going to be breaking up. I don't know if it's going to be the case. I really don't, because earnings are a complete curveball. That's why I was saying, like, crystal ball. Yeah, we ain't got one. You ain't got one. I ain't got one. He ain't got one. Nobody got one. All right? We can use our context clues on what we got here on the charts, what we're seeing behind the scenes with flow, all right, and just experience. And you know what I'm telling you right now is earnings is the curveball, but take away earnings, and this thing's probably just going to take out 168.31 and head straight to 174, and then head to all-time highs. You know, take out earnings from the equation. That's likely how this would play out. Maybe earnings is going to bring you up to new all-time highs above 188.75 tomorrow. Not really sure. But, you know, TSM, AVGO started selling today. You know, it looks pretty hairy there. All right. Could very easily pull back. But this is exactly what I was saying. Like, I want this to end. This crap right here where you keep breaking out the new highs and you just, boom, you pull right back in. And then, boom, you break out the new highs. What happened? You pull right back in. New highs right here, slight new highs. Boom, pulled all the way back to 21 EMA. New highs, pull back. New highs. Okay, you didn't really... well, you technically did pull back that day. You guys get the point here. There's a crap ton of supply that every time we make new highs on SPY, QQ, you know, just a bunch of these stocks, we are just finding new sellers. That is big money behind the scenes, I'm pretty sure, just trying to get the best possible exit price. You know, this is a recipe for slow, grindy price action, and I personally think at some point we're going to have a larger correction to make volatility great again, and then we can actually start up some trending moves that are not going to be doing this crap. You know, this thing, I know it looks like it's been really moving, but again, with some of these setups we've seen in the past, they bring explosive moves that last multiple weeks. This is crap. I don't know how else to say it, you know? I'm not trying to be a dick to the market here. I'm just telling it. Hey, the market, Mr. Market, you look like crap right now, okay? I think you need a breather. I think you do. All right, guys. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I truly do. Please just remember to leave a like on the video. That's all I ask. These are completely free for you. I try and give as much value in here as possible. All right? If you're having a tough time in the market, it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. You guys knew about, you know, the VIX spike in that way. Protect yourself. There are times when to size up in the market. There's times when to not. Okay? If you made the dumb mistake of sizing up in the market when the market, you know, is doing what it's doing right now, all right? Adjust. By that, I mean, if you get an exit, take the exit and sit on your freaking hands until the market settles itself. Okay? Other than that, guys, you know, I'll just tell you, I think VIX can have this larger spike. And I think VIX calls will pay. But, you know, I think everything has that larger correction right around the corner. I just think it's too obvious right now. I really do. So I'm not sure exactly how this is going to play out. You know, we have FOMC tomorrow. We have big tech earnings after, you know, tomorrow's bell, Meta and Microsoft. And we have Apple and Amazon on Thursday. We got a lot of volatility here, guys. You don't have to risk things for the biscuit all the time in the market. You really don't. There are times when you can ease off the gas. You can't. Okay? All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to come trade with me, that link is going to be down below. Go check out the Twitter, guys. If you're not following on the Twitter, go check out the Twitter. And please, if you can, please leave a like on those posts I'm going to be doing. The tickers we cover in these videos, I'm going to test this out for a month. I'm going to have to, you know, dedicate like 1 to 2 hours every single day to this. So please, guys, like it up. Okay, let's try and pump the freaking Twitter over the next month. But yeah, all these tickers we're going over in these videos, I'm going to be posting them every night on Twitter. Not all of them, but the vast majority of them, the main ones that, you know, have movement going on, I will be posting them on Twitter. I'm trying to grow it. I would appreciate your support. All right. And with that being said, guys, everybody have a lovely rest of your day. Get ready for a hectic tomorrow, a hectic into Thursday as well, and into Friday. And peace.